Gelukkig het julle mos klaar afgeskryf, so ek gaan net so vinnig deurskiet. Sê gou vir my by vraag 8. Any questions there? Your steps, remember, might be slightly different from mine. You maybe started with X and then did W last or whatever. Ja, dit hoef nie noodwendig nie. Dit werk baie keer. Stel as jy eksamen vraestel of jy toets so op dat dit wel so mooi X, Y, Z is, right? Ja. But I mean, it's not set in stone. So, fine. Laat ek hoor. Any questions at 8? No. Good. Dan by 9, moet jy weer net X, Y, Z uitgewerk het. Daar moet jy gekyk het om vir Z te kry. Jy sal gesien het buitehoek van die koorde 4-hoek, but that angle on the inside of the cyclic quad was the Z and the 67 together. Okay, so you had to calculate that Z was then 43. Remember, you've got to use the correct reasons, nee? Baie keer, and I assume you know that from last year, sometimes you get a mark for both the reason and the angle that you calculated. So meaning if your angle is correct but your reason is wrong, you get 0. Right? If it's a 1 mark for both. Other instances, they might give a mark for the angle and a mark for the reason. It all depends. Maar in a nutshell, maak seker alles is reg, because reasons are something that you can go and study. Okay. Right, so any questions at 9? None, no. Okay, then you also had to do 11. Yeah. By number 11, that was a bit more of a, you had to think very carefully. Oh, excuse, ek sien het, ek het daai rede uitgelos. Kyk gou daar. I said X is 35. Now remember, right in the beginning of the exercise, they said that all these numbers are actually the length of the sizes. Nee, so hier werk ons net met die lengtes van die sye. So X, het ek sê is 35. Hoe het ek dit geweet? Because of that, from the midpoint, it was, it cut that chord perpendicularly. Nee? En omdat daai midpoint to chord was 90 degrees, it meant that that chord would be bisected. Hy word mos so mooi in die helfte gesny, nee. En die een kant was my gegee is 35, so die ander kant is ook 35. Okay, that's the first thing. Then, jy moes gesien het dat OP en OS is radiusse. So, the same length for both then, obviously. And OP was given as Y, OR was given as Z, en dan RS was 25. En dis hoekom ek sê Z would be the full Y, meaning the full radius, minus that 25 that was given. Okay? Dan kan ek nou met daai klein driehoekie gaan werk en Pythagoras gebruik. Nee. Yes.
Man, this is an ignorance in our class.
Vir my maar hierso. Okay. Good. So Pythagoras tells me that OR squared plus PR squared will be equal to OP squared. And you've got to state that you use Pythagoras for that. Dan sit net gewone instel en gaan uitwerk dat Y is dan 37. Now we've got X, we've got Y, but we still need Z. And right in the beginning here, we said Z would be Y minus 25. En dis hoekom ek hier gaan sê. Y is 37 minus I 25, so it means that Z would be 12. Okay, any questions there? Right, julle het gelukkig mos klaar afgeskryf. Nou wil ek gou by hierdie deel kom. Midpoint theorem, nee, die middelpuntstelling. Nou in jou handboek, as jy wil gaan loer, is dit op bladsy 221 en 221, 22, 23, but for now, don't have a look at it. I'm first going to let you guys apply this theorem, nee, want as jy gaan kyk op daai bladsy, dan lyk dit baie woes. Okay, so we're going to get back to proving the theorem once we've done it a lot and once you guys are comfortable with it. Okay. So ek gaan hom vir nou gou vir jou in plain Afrikaans gaan verduidelik. Nee? Sê gou weer? Ja. Yes. Okay, right. So we have got a triangle ABC, that big one. Now, midpoint theorem says that if AD, meaning that one, is equal to DB, die enetjie, and AE is equal to EC. Jy sal nou sien ek het basies net gou dit gedoen. If that is given, then you can make the assumption that DE will be parallel to BC. Nee? En ook dat daai middelste lyntjie DE is half of BC. Okay. Goed, so hulle wys vir my dat jy kan sien hierdie sytjie DE, that line, it divides both my two longer sides in half. Nee. That's why AD is the same as BD en AE gelyk aan EC. Nou, as jy dit sien, equal on this side, equal on that side, then you make the assumption that these two lines are parallel and the top one will be half of what the bottom one is. Jy kan sommer sien, die onderste een is obviously die langer een, nee? Okay, so that is basically the midpoint theorem in a nutshell. Okay, dan kry jy ook omgekeerde middelpuntstelling. Nou, al wat daar gebeur is, they give you, eintlik andersom, they give you the assumption en dan moet jy die res gaan weet, nee? So kom ons kyk gou hier. Die omgekeerde middelpuntstelling, that's the one on the right hand side. Nou sê hulle vir my dat AD, daai enetjie, is gelyk aan DB en they say that DE is parallel to BC. So nou sien jy, hulle gee net my die twee lyntjies en hierdie is parallel. Dan mag ek weer die res gaan aflei. Then the rest I can be my assumption. So if that's true, then AE will be equal to EC. Nee. And obviously, let's make this 2A and that will be A. Kom ons skryf net hierso. And DE is equal to half of BC. Okay, so as jy nou gou hierso gaan kyk, kom ons sê daai is X. Wat gaan hierdie onderste ene dan wees? 2X. Nee, so you guys see it. Is julle by? Nee. Okay, wat ek altyd onthou, is, hulle moet vir jou twee goed gee, om het waar te maak. Nee? They can't just show you that these two are equal and then you know it would be midpoint theorem. Nee? Hulle moet vir my gee twee goed. Daai is gelyk en hierdie is gelyk. So can you see they give me two things? Then I can assume the rest. Kyk weer by omgekeerde ene. They give me those two are equal, so dis een ding. And they tell me that they're parallel. So that's the second thing. En dan kan ek my afleiding gaan maak. Is julle reg? Any questions so far? Goed. Nou, kom ons kyk gou na hierdie voorbeeld. Okay. Het julle hierdie klaar afgeskryf, nee? Ja. Okay. Goed. So this is an example from your textbook on page 225. So ek gaan net gou stadig saam met jou deur om werk, nee? They're giving you triangle. I want to say ABC, but inside that is lots more, nee? Die A, excuse, op julle skerm daarbo is A nou uitgesny, but right at the top there's A. Okay, dan sê hulle vir jou, given BG over GC is equal to 5 over 2. So eintlik wat hulle vir my hier sê is BG is 5 en GC is 2, nee? Maar this 5/2, and make a note there, I didn't write it there, that is nie die lengte nie. It's not the length. It is net die verhouding. Meaning the 5/2 is, it can be lengths of 10 and 4, but the ratio will still be 5 and 2. Nee, so dit is net in verhouding. Right. Goed. En dan sê ek ook vir jou dat AD op DC is 3/7. Now, my first thing would be BG is 5. So kyk gou hier. BG is 5. But can I do that? Nou, want nou sê ek eintlik dat daai lengte van BG is 5. So, because we're working with ratio, omdat ek werk met verhouding, sê ek eerder 5x. Okay. Want wat ook al die lengte gaan wees, dit gaan definitief 5 keer iets wees om by daai lengte uit te kom. Nee. Is dit iemand se foon of is dit buite? Is jou foon? Is dit af? En GC is 2, but I'm not going to just say 2, I'm going to say 2x, omdat hy verhouding is. Wees nie by so ver nie. Right, let's look at this part. AD and DC. Nou, AD se verhouding is 3. Okay, so 3. Kan ek nou weer gaan sê x? Nee, want dit is heeltemal 'n nuwe enetjie. So nou gaan ek sommer sê 3y. Alright. Can't just say 3 because it's not the length of it. Dis mos net die verhouding. Okay, en DC is 7, maar nou gaan ek eerder so maak, want as ek nou 7 hier skryf, kan dit misleidend wees, so I'm going to do that. 7y. Is julle reg? Does it make sense so far? Goed, nou sê ek vir jou. Determine AF over FG. Okay, nou. Ek gaan eers vir jou. Miskien wag, ek gaan dit hierso krap met my highlighter. Kyk gou hier. Jy hoef dit nou te trek nie, ek wil net gou laat jy dit sien. Because I'm working with AF and FG, nee? As jy middelpuntstelling wil gebruik, can you see I'm not going to use that triangle? Want ek het mos 2 lyntjies nodig, nee? Right, so which triangle do you guys think I'd use? You guys see that? Hoekom? Want, can you see DF is parallel to EG? Nee, so dan het ek my driehoekie. Then I have my triangle like I wanted for midpoint theorem. Do you guys get that? Okay, right. Wat nou? Sê weer? Well, okay. Goed, so kom ons kyk gou. Ek sê vir jou hierso. Let BG be 5x, therefore GC is 2x. Dis wat ons al ingeskryf het. En AD is 3y en DC is 7y. Okay? Onthou, the line parallel to one side of the triangle, nee? Ons soek daai 2 parallelle lyntjies om midpoint theorem te kan gaan gebruik. Okay. Goed, so kom ons sê CE op ED, kom ek merk om vir jou, CE op ED gaan dan mos nou ook moet wees 2/5. Why? How did I get to that? Look at this triangle. That one. Jy moet nou so omkyk. Sien jy hom? Can you see DB is parallel to EG? Nee? So die verhouding daar gaan ook wees 2/5. Stem julle saam? Nee. Okay, so that's where I get that from. So CE, because that whole thing was 7y, it means that CE, this one, will then be 2y because of that 2x. Right? So 2y over 5y because this was 5x. sien julle dit in of nie? Yeah, you're not seeing it. Okay, right. So first thing I want you to see is that we're working with that triangle. Right? Okay, and my two parallel sides are these two. Right? Okay, and this is 5 to 2, not length, ratio. So that side will also be 2 to 5. Right? And that whole thing is actually equal to 7y, and that's how I knew it would be 2y, because this is also 2y, and then there's my parallel line, so that one and this one will be the same, so 5y. Right, yeah. Ons gaan nou daar, wag hè. Oeps, wat het ek nou weggevat, die y. Okay, jy praat van daai ene. Dan sê jy, DE sal hoeveel wees? Okay, ons gaan nou. Yes, as jy in daai driehoek gewerk het, ja. Maar ons gaan nou.
Ja, wat moet ek nou, is dit moeilik aan hout, diesel en sal jy hoon gaan na die voorportaal kan kom asseblief?
Okay, so CE is 2y en ED 5y. Ons gaan nou terugkom na joune toe. Met ander woorde, what we wanted you to determine was AF over FG, nee? So AF, daai enetjie, will be 3 and FG 5. Maak het sin. Is julle reg? Goed. Nou kyk gou na die volgende. Ja. Kan ek maar skip? Okay. Nou sê ek vir toemaak. Now I'm saying calculate triangle AFD over triangle AGE. Okay, ek kan nou nie my prentjie weer hierso sit nie, so jy moet nou net op jou prentjie mooi gaan kyk, né? Ek sal weer terugskiep so nou en dan. Nou sê ons, stel vir AF gelyk aan 3A. So kom ons kyk gou hier. Ek het 'n ander kleur. AF sê ons is 3A. And then we also say that means that FG will be 5. A. Nee? Okay, ek skip gou weer terug. And the reason there would be line parallel to one side of the triangle. Goed. Nou sê ek, 3AFD gaan dan wees half maal 3A maal 3A, sorry, times sine of that angle at A. FAD. Onthou julle nog by 3? Nee? Right? Then the bottom one, it says the triangle AGE. AGE, so that's the big triangle. So now I'm still going to say half times, and now we talk about 8A. Want, kyk gou, ons soek vir A tot by G. That. 8A. Is julle reg daar? Okay. 8A maal, en die een oorkant om, 8A times again that sign of small angle A, or FAD. Goed. Nou, daai kan ons nou lekker selfs uitkanselleer ook. Nee, wat beteken, you can see that these will cancel out, and those will cancel out, nee? So ek gaan dan nou hê 9AA op 64 AA. But the A's and the Y's will also cancel out. So I'm just going to have 9/64. Okay. Is julle okay so ver? Jy's verras dat jy okay is. Dis 'n goeie ding, is dit nie? Good. Any questions? Ja. Where? Oh, line parallel to one side of the triangle. Op jou reëlbladsy. Right at the bottom. This is not Afrikaans. I'll have a look at the English just now. Kyk gou van onder af. Die tweede, derde, vierde en die vyfde. Those 4 reasons are all about midpoint theorem. It depends on what was given. So as jy nou kyk vir middelpuntstelling, sê hulle die lynstuk wat die middelpunte van 2 sy van 'n driehoek verbind is ewewydig aan die derde sy en gelyk aan die helft van die derde sy. Then we only say midpoint theorem. Die omgekeerde ene gebruik ons wanneer die middelpunt van 1 gegee is, ewewydig aan die tweede sy getrek word, halveer die derde sy. So that's where we've got the 2 equal here and then the 2 parallel sides. Then it's converse of midpoint theorem. Dan sê hulle vir jou, line parallel een sy van driehoek, what we did use here, line parallel to one side of the triangle. Dan sê hulle daarso vir jou, kom ek lees verslag Engels. A line drawn parallel to one side of a triangle divides the other 2 sides proportionally. Okay, that's when we use that one. Dan die laaste enetjie sê vir jou, lyn verdeel 2 sye van 'n driehoek eweredig. Daar sê hulle vir my, as 'n lyn 2 sye van 'n driehoek in eweredige dele verdeel, is die lyn ewewydig aan die derde sy. So all of those are on midpoint theorem, né? So gaan kyk net weer mooi na daai. Ja. Have you got one? Engels. Ek net kyk of ek het. I've got a few English ones. So as our Engels. Yeah?
I've got a sick letter.
Yes, I need that. Thank you. Wil jy so nee, excuse me. You got that?
No, I don't know. I wasn't here all.
Also English, né? Jy het gesê maar dis ook net hier. Het julle nie? Wie soek nog? I've got 3 and no, I've got one more. Okay. Right, nou is my Engels op. Iemand van julle? Huh? Okay, maar dan moet ek net so afraal. Ek gaan gou kyk, Afrikaans het ek 1. So, we gaan 5 lank van.
Ek sal hoe lang.
Maar jy sê met Engels. Ek gaan julle afdruk en anyway maak. So wil jy kom ons gee vir Gary. So dan julle 2 manne kort nog, né? Wil jy Engels of Afrikaans? Ek gaan anyway afrol. Okay. Engels, okay. En jy wil Afrikaans. Ja. Okay. So ek sal daai vir julle maandag gee as ek julle sien. Right. So you guys say you don't have any questions, né? Ja, ek gaan nou. So, listen, your homework is exercise 3, number 1 and 2. Kyk mooi, dit is so kort. Jy gaan sien dis letterlik dis een antwoordjie. Okay? It's baie kort. Right. Then that is it for the day.